Hello, it's Phil from Golf Data Tech and I'm coming to you with a market update for September 2021. Sorry for the slight delay. I've been out after a little hernia op, which has taken me a little longer to recover than anticipated. But anyway, needless to say, I'm happy to report that while September 2021 was actually down 7.5% versus 2020, we're still following the long-term trend, which is good growth on 2019. We're actually up 19% this month versus 2019. Now, in year-to-date terms, that means we're now 30% up year-to-date for 2020 and 6% up year-to-date versus 2019. So the positive trend is continuing. Now, across all categories versus 2020, the performance is pretty consistent and sitting in that 20 to 30% zone. But versus 2019, we're seeing quite a difference in performance. Best way to summarise it is to consider that both clubs and other products like trolleys and distance devices are very much up. Apparel is very much down. And then consumable sales, like balls for instance, are kind of in the middle. They are up, but not to the same extent as the clubs and the distance devices and things are. Best categories this month were actually balls and men's shirts. They've both seen growth, even in the context of all the other markets seeing a decline. Worst categories this month were trolleys and men's bottoms. Now, generally, I think the positive thing is we're seeing is there's a trend being followed, and so we're not seeing any dramatic changes year on year from month to month. And what we're seeing is a general decline in line with what we've seen in previous years over this seasonal change. So we have seen an uptick. And I think the interesting thing actually is when we start looking at inventory, it's definitely had an impact on iron sales, and those have obviously seen some significant decline in inventory numbers. But generally what we're seeing is everything except for irons is actually up quite considerably up on 2020. So we're in a better stock position than we were in 2020. But what we're seeing on average is a 10 to 20% decline versus 2019. So we have seen a drop off there. The only exception really is in distance devices and trolleys and balls, especially off course, where we've seen quite an increase in stock in that channel.